Greatly.
The Freddie Mac Scandal of 2003. Freddie Mac was chartered by Congress through the Emergency Home Finance Act of 1970. The intent was to provide competition to the newly created Fannie Mae Corporation, which provides the same mortgage services as Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac makes it possible for more people to purchase homes and rental housing in the United States. Rather than lending directly to buyers, Freddie Mac operates in the U.S. secondary mortgage market, where they buy the loans that meet their standards from approved lenders. These lenders then, in turn, are able to provide more loans to qualified buyers and keep capital flowing into the housing market. Freddie Mac then pools the mortgages it buys into securities, which they sell to investors around the world. So what happened in the Freddie Mac scandal? Per information obtained from the SEC, Freddie Mac engaged in a fraudulent scheme that deceived investors about its true performance, profitability, and growth trends. In the years 2000, 2001, and 2002, by 30.5, 23.9, and 42.9% respectively, they misreported their net income. Their senior management exerted consistent pressure to have the company report smooth and dependable earnings growth in order to present investors with the image of a company that would continue to generate predictable and growing earnings. So who were the leaders in charge during this scandal? There were four. The president, COO, and vice chairman of the board, David Glenn, the CFO, Von Clark, and two former senior vice presidents, Robert Dean and Nazar Dasani. But why would these men want to deceive the investors? Mostly to meet the expectations of Wall Street, of having that consistent growth in the company. The main violations, the use of certain transactions to nullify the transitional effects of the company's implementation of accounting standard SFAS 133, improper change in valuing the company's swapations portfolio at year-end 2000, improper use of derivatives to shift earnings between periods, improper use of reserve in connection with the company's application of SFAS 91, the use of certain transactions to nullify the effects of an accounting pronouncement known as Emergency Issues Task Force issue, and the maintenance and reporting of a reserves for losses on loans materially in excess of probable losses. These improper transactions allowed the company to appear to be consistently stable in earnings growth, which makes the company look better to investors, until they were caught, which cost Freddie Mac $50 million in penalties. So why didn't the auditors detect the fraud originally? The original auditor, Arthur Anderson, would not have had the appropriate information to detect this fraud, since management's not going to offer the appropriate information. They were operating without an effective control environment in their accounting department. The information supplied to the auditors was most likely misstated, and their audit committee was so disorganized and had no effective leadership. Either way, the same auditor was involved or worked for Enron, who was also at the time involved in a scandal. The two executives still working at Freddie Mac, of course, were fired. None of the four executives charged with this fraud admitted to nor denied the allegations. However, they all agreed to pay civil penalties and amounts of disgorgement. So how did Freddie Mac pick up the pieces after the scandal? They were forced to organize their internal controls, first of all, so they could provide actual, accurate, and complete financial information. So they had to hire new people, obviously, for these jobs.